Hello everyone and welcome to the Retro Gaming Corner, episode 3. Today's episode is all about one of my favorite game consoles, the Sony PlayStation. Now, in this episode I'm going to be talking about the very first PlayStation that was released in America in 1995. I believe, or it was 94, but I believe it was 95. The Sony PlayStation was the first attempt to do gaming in 3D. And I have to say, for its time, the Sony PlayStation was one of the best 3D consoles that you could get in the market. Not only that, but in my personal opinion, it really set the bar for what 3D games are today. And it came with some great games. I'm not talking just launch titles like football and maybe a basketball game, Need for Speed. But I'm talking about fighting games like Tekken and Street Fighter and Capcom vs. Marvel. I mean, it came with some really awesome games. And still today, even 20 years later, go to sleep. It is still one of my favorite consoles, and I apologize for that. My microphone had turned on. It is still one of my favorite consoles to this day, even 20 years later. I mean, if you were to ask me what is my favorite game on the Sony PlayStation, I would have to tell you hands down the Tekken franchise. Now, I love the Tekken franchise. I have always loved the Tekken franchise since the very first one to the sixth one, which was released for the PlayStation 3 a few years back. Now, I'm hoping they do release Tekken 7 for the PS4. But I believe the Tekken franchise 1, 2, and 3 were some of the best fighting games on the PlayStation that you could buy back in the day. But not only did the Sony PlayStation have great fighting games, they had great adventure games like, a Shadow of Darkness or something like that. A platforming game, and I absolutely love that game. Even though I could never beat it, I never finished that game. It was one of the games I played as a kid, and I still remember it to this day. There were a few Mega Man titles on the PlayStation, which were very hard to get because of licensing issues. But one of the games that really stood out to me on PlayStation was basically their mascot, their launch title, Crash Bandicoot, which I did play a little bit as a child, but I will have to admit, I really want to play that again because I never got to finish the first game or the second game, for that matter, and I absolutely love this game. I remember countless times going over to my cousin's house and playing, on his PlayStation, Crash Bandicoot, Tekken 3. I mean, that was my childhood right there. The Super Nintendo, the PlayStation, the N64, which I will talk about in another episode. But all of those were through my early or late, teens. I mean, I absolutely love the Sony PlayStation, and me being a collector of video games, I will be adding that to my collection. And what else can I say? I absolutely loved the PlayStation controller. It had, 4 buttons for all your actions: X, square, circle, triangle. But did you know, fun fact, that the X and circle buttons are reversed in the Japanese version of the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and so on. Because the Japanese believe X is for no, and circle means correct. You will see a lot of animes, people will hold up their arms in the X position, saying no, or they will hold their arms up in a circle. That is correct. So that's why, and, when you get a Japanese console, the X and O buttons are reversed. Um, you know, I just thought that was a fun fact you should know. And I love the PlayStation games because they could fit more content because they were on, I think they were on DVD-ROM, I'm not sure. I believe it was the first game to be on, no, it was CDR. It was CDR and they could hold up to 700 megabytes, I believe. Or maybe it was like 1.2 gigabytes, but I know it was a little less than the PS2, which could hold double the space, but that will come in a later episode. But yeah, and I remember the PlayStation having, a special gun with some games you would aim it at your screen and you could play all these like light gun games where you just aim at the screen and shoot. I just remember countless games of doing that. I mean, countless days of doing that, and I remember as a kid, we had called the gun, the PlayStation gun, popcorn, because my godmother didn't want to frighten my little sister with letting her know it was a gun, so we just called the gun popcorn. I remember that very vividly, and it stuck with me to the day. I'm like 31, and those times playing the PlayStation, the Sony PlayStation, have always stuck in my head and will continue to stick in my head probably as long as I can live. I mean, the Sony PlayStation is and will forever be like one of my favorite 3D gaming consoles. Not to say that I don't like the ones now, or the PS2, or the PS3. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for its time, the PS1 really set the bar for what 3D games are today. And without the PlayStation 1, I don't think 3D games would be where they are today if it wasn't for the PlayStation. If it wasn't for Sony saying, let's see if we can take games to the next level. Because I believe Sony wanted to compete with, I think it was the Super Nintendo at the time. So they were like, let's see if we can take one more step above Nintendo and just do a total, 3D, machine. And basically Sony just blew Nintendo out of the water because their machine could do stuff the Super Nintendo could only dream of. Actual 3D graphics on CD. They could hold like 700, 800 megabytes compared to the Super Nintendo, like, I think it was like 1.2 megabytes or something. Or, I don't know how much it was on a cartridge. But I know it was very, very, very small. And I think Sony wanted to say, look what we can do, Nintendo, after Nintendo had backed out of a deal with Sony and said, look, we're gonna go. I think Sony was like, we're gonna go make game for Panasonic and not do a deal with you. And then, cause originally Nintendo and Sony had collaborated to make a machine called the PlayStation, 2 words, where Nintendo would have all the rights to the game and Sony would make the CD tray. But then they decided to back out from the deal from Nintendo, go with Panasonic, and take the patent for the belt. The PlayStation became the PlayStation as we know it today. 1 word. So if Sony hadn't have backed out of that deal with Nintendo, which was a very shady deal because they gave Nintendo all rights to the game and they could do whatever they wanted. If Sony had not decided to back out at the last minute, there would be no PlayStation 2, or any PlayStation for that matter, to talk about. So I am very happy that Sony went their own ways, and here we are today. And I have to say, I really enjoy Sony's product. Well, that was my take on the PlayStation. Please put a comment down below on what your experiences were or are with the PlayStation, and what games you like on the PlayStation and why. I hope you will tune in next time for another review where we keep everything retro right here at the Retro Gaming Corner. Goodbye, everybody.